gotta leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
boy.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hopes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeChain, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you already done so, do us a favor. Drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash the like, the repost, the bookmark. And you got like 6 different chats to join. We're live over on YouTube. It is a Friday, so if you haven't yet given us a subscription over there, we would greatly appreciate it. It does us a real solid. As does hitting the bookmark, the like, the repost on the audio space. That really warms up the algo, lets everyone know we're here, and is greatly appreciated. The best chat, though, is, I mean, we're battling for best chats between Abstract and YouTube. Both those chats pop off nonstop. We also have the X video feed live up top. So join us wherever you would like. If you really want to be a superstar, go hit a like, a drop a chat in all those. As always, I'm Cap, joined by my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky most of the time, except we're in a raging bull. So just shove it all in, all full risk on. This is financial advice. But we're not financial advisors, so don't actually join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, education along the way. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky. They're all risky, but it's time to have some fun. We feel the market coming back. Maybe it's a blip, but I think yesterday was maybe day one. I think, yeah, if you weren't around for the last bull, that feeling from yesterday, that where it wasn't just like Bitcoin, it wasn't just NFTs, it wasn't just a singular collection. I actually going to go check Fear and Greed, because it felt like the flip happened yesterday from half the timeline being sidelined and bear market PTSD to it's starting to feel a little euphoric. It's not full on euphoria. It'll be that when we have how we felt yesterday, like 3 or 4 times a week for 6 months in a row. Or as I actually, the best top call might be, I just saw Daniel Got Hit said, if we see Cairo or Ryan Carson start a strategic reserve company, that's when we sell everything. And I think I probably agree with that, Steve. GM, sir, how you doing?
GM, it's interesting. I mean, first of all, give us a like, a retweet, comment in the room. Firing off.
A few like old friends that we don't see here on a regular basis. I know we get started early, so I don't know if you're a different part of the world or just extra. Bull market's got them rising early this morning, Steve.
Yeah, we got a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on Abstract, but I want to give love to our X chat because look, like, retweet, comment on the room. It still is our largest distribution channel. We do appreciate people on there while we grow the others. We appreciate all the people on all of them. But Mel, you are the OG soldier. Still got first out there. You're keeping the X chat alive. We're keeping on it. I know Cap keeps a better eye on the X chat than me because I tend to be more on the video chat because he gets the noties on that. But Diablito out there, Machiavelli on all chats, Drew, Von Frunton on all chats, Joey Vowels, love seeing you out there. Joey Vowels, I know there was some more room chatter yesterday. I know you were joking around. We love having you on stage, good sir. You always bring the heat and the perspective. You're a man of many interests, and I appreciate that, I will say. So appreciate that. Lady Invisible out there, giving some love to all the people. You matter. I'll be honest, like, it's a very vulnerable thing to say. My background on my phone it says my background on my phone, I need to like clear it so I could actually see it with all my noties now. But it actually says I am enough, and I look at it every day as I'm walking. So I feel that, lady, as well. Appreciate that.
Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, it used to say work. That's how you get it. Like, that's when I was like rising up. It was a Gary Vaynerchuk background when he did phone.
I was actually going to go that direction. I was going to say like suck it the fuck up or work harder, or like you and I motivate ourselves slightly differently, I think.
Oh, no, that's always been my motivation. I am trying to dig myself out of years of mentally disturbing holes, which may have been useful to me, but trying to figure out how to tinker them without ruining the thing that made me work. So it's a weird little thing because I am somebody who's like always pushed myself in certain directions and was like very hard on myself and trying to find joy in other ways. But yeah, it's a little bit different.
My like best reply guy tweet I've had in months. Did you see this?
No, I did not. Oh, I did actually.
You remember exactly what the original post said? Like, I remember my response, but I'm trying to think exactly.
What was your response? Because I vaguely remember this and my brain is like foggy. I remember it was like, what was your response?
The original post, I'm trying to think of the verbatim. Let me see if I can find it. Because the original post was something like, men will lose their job, lose their portfolio, get divorced, and just like get up and keep going. I'm like, or say something. They said something. I'm like, what the hell are we supposed to say? Say I quit? Like, fuck that. Like,
that's it. Yeah, that was it. Like, they were like, it was like, yeah, I'm trying to remember the original post well, but you're like, yeah, I don't say I quit.
I never do. I'm not a reply guyer, but that was one that I was just like, I just had an authentic, the thing that I was like, I read it like, what the hell are we supposed to do? Like, I genuinely meant it. I wasn't even a shit post, and people apparently
yeah. One of the weird parts about, like, because Lady mentioned mental health, I'll kind of hit this one in the chat for a minute. Give us a like, a retweet, a comment in the room, by the way. Try to get the room going. Appreciate everyone in all the chats. Abstract as well out there. Teacher Katie every single day. Mesh always shows up. Diablito in there. Von Frunton again, all the chats. Appreciate everybody who goes to all the chats. But
got it.
What was it? Go hit it.
They go, men will get fired, divorced, be in debt, and the only thing they say is, I'll figure it out. Of course. I mean, he's like, of course we'll figure it out. Like, what else are we going to do? What are other options? Quit? Like, give up? Kill? Like, don't kill yourself. Like, yeah, that's life. Like, it's like the famous chart where it's like people think success is like this, and really it's like fucking roller coaster. It's like, embrace the suck. It's going to happen. Like, you can either feel sorry for yourself or you can use it as a motivator. Like the people know, like, I like a genuine question. Instead of saying I'll figure it out, what else would you say?
Well, I think they were trying to go a different direction with it, so I get it. I get what they're saying. Like, instead of just being like,
what direction?
So I think what they were saying is, instead of just being like, I'll figure it out and put your head down or whatever, or just like ignoring the problem, it's like, how do you address the problem? I think is what they were trying to say. Which is, people tend to be problem solvers, but it's different. It's different ways that different folks, I think, approach different things, right? Like, there is like you know what the weird part is about like mental health in general is that it's sort of like parents. Like when you're a child, the only thing you know is your parents. You think that's just how parents are. You think they're right. You think it's what they do. Mental health's like the same way. It's like I don't have the ability to celebrate victories, and I never knew why, and I just assume it was normal. Like I would see people celebrating when something went well, and I'm like, what's going on here? It's like my book did well, and I'm just like, okay, like that feels great. I appreciate all the kind words, but like I couldn't like feel like I always feel like people are being patronizing when they say nice things to me or about me. Like they're trying to like, like bullshit me. And so like that, like things like that are important things to work out. It's important to work out so you can best enjoy life. And so I do, and I'm working on that in this stage of life. It's something I'm taking a little bit more seriously, but on a slightly less seriously, but a good note. But again, give us a like, retweet, comment on the room. We appreciate everybody who helps share and get it out there. This is how we grow. If you like the show and you want us to keep doing the show, jump on. I mean, we're not going anywhere, but it's like the idea that,
we're going to start charging for it though. We're going to start charging for the show.
I mean, it's
like send the Pingu today. It's my abstract. So load me up with some fresh Pingu or Fartcoin. If you can send Fartcoin via abstract, I'll take that as well. Steve also has a pool on those too. If you can't decide which one to buy today, go check out Steve's pool.
Same market cap. Yeah, we'll hit on that because I think Von Frunton brought up an interesting discussion about the two that I unintentionally walked into. I mean, look, you want to talk about me being horrible at the market, by the way. So I said this in the War Room yesterday. So on the show, and by the way, we're not financial advisors to tell anybody, but, I'm figuring out ways not to like, I make sure come hell or high water, I contribute to my IRA and max it out every year. Doesn't matter. It's one of my priorities before I do anything else.
Or Roth?
Right now, traditional for tax purposes. So in the future, I know it's going to hit me, but right now, because we're entrepreneurs and we don't get money taken out of our paycheck for taxes, I like to get that extra with, me $7,000 and Dawn and I file jointly. So like $14,000 off my taxes every year.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
Like I'm not being smart. I'm just like genuinely curious why, if you're ruling, like I understand the move, and that's what I said yesterday. Like, don't beat yourself up. Like it's going to be irrelevant. You made the right move. When Bitcoin's $1 million, you're not going to care that you left, a few percent on the table between, 111 and 116K.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a few $100. It's going to be. It's just it's more like it's more of like a funny story. But yeah, go ahead.
But like my genuine question is why, if you're allocating more crypto in it, why would you do a traditional instead of a Roth? Because like I think that's where like putting crypto in a Roth IRA, I think that's like where you could have like if Bitcoin does run to $1 million, it's tax free if you put it in a Roth, right? Like why would you go the traditional route versus?
Well, it's tax free if I do it in. You don't pay cap gains on either. So if I put Bitcoin in now and it goes up, I'm not paying cap gains on it. It grows tax free. In the traditional IRA, the taxes I pay are on income, meaning when I take money out of my traditional, it's like, let's say that I'm taking out $150,000 a year. It's taxed that way.
But I still think, what did net out? Like, let's use the example let's just for easy math, you put one Bitcoin in today. It's $1 million. Your retirement age, you can start taking out whatever. When you take out that $1 million, you take out $100,000 a year, you're taxed on the $100,000 as income.
Right. As if I'm making $100,000
today though. And if you go the other route, you go the Roth route, and it goes to $1 million, like it's tax free. Like you're not paying it on that. Like it's basically you're free rolling that $1 million throughout retirement. No, like maybe I'm missing something, but
so there's a couple of things there. There is there are vehicles to work around it, but there is a certain limit and amount that you're allowed to do for that. Number one. Number two. It is a pure tax play for now, knowing it's going to hit me later. So, like, here's the deal. I would say, like, I have about 1/5 as much in my traditional IRA as I do in my Roth. So my Roth,
you are doing both. Then that's cool. That's so you're ahead of the game.
I've had So to give people,
just focusing on Bitcoin, then will you spread that exposure through both, or do you think?
No, I will eventually.
Curious, but you can give me financial advice. Something that could, like, I'm trying to understand on something like a potentially an asset like Bitcoin that has massive upside that hypothetical it hits $1 million. trying to understand the benefits of.
So the asset doesn't matter in this case. It's a purely short-term financial decision based on my tax bill each year. So when I put the money into the Roth, if I put $7,000 into a Roth, then I don't get that money off my taxes this year.
Understood.
So right now, based on where I'm at financially and everything going on, I could use the money off my taxes. I've never been in a position.
Okay. So okay, gotcha. That makes complete sense. I've got, tax loss harvesting. I've got, some LLCs, some business losses I can carry over. And so it's easier. I believe for me, it's easier for me to, write off taxable income today than it will be. Like basically when I'm 70 years old, maybe I'm doing more than I am today, but my thinking is that I would just live off all that and not have to be fucking around doing anything else. I mean, I'll still work and stuff, but that's my.
And I'm like less worried about the tax, man. Like the goal is that I get there no matter. But like to me, and this is exactly what my friend says. Depends when you need the cash. Are you in a position to pay taxes now, or do you want to defer till later? So right now, I pay thousands of dollars in pre-taxes, like almost 5 figures in pre-taxes to begin with, and I still got like, I don't know, like a $9,000 tax bill last year or something insane like that. So like, I have a great tax guy. It's just cap gains plus income. I put money aside for paying taxes, but like for me, I contributed to a Roth, and I recommend Roth to almost everybody. If you are in a position where you can do it, and I have
your deal built most his wealth.
Yeah, and I have 5 times. I mean, Jim Cramer. I know people make fun of him. He's sort of like Jim Cramer, sort of like, who's like a person who played way past their prime, right? He's sort of like the Willie Mays on the Mets,
That's a great way to call it. Like he could have hung up his cleats like early 2000, and he might be like actually still respected as a financial.
He's still respected by certain people, but like,
he's become a joke. And he's mostly known as a joke. I mean, they have fucking inverse Kramer funds. Like he's largely, I don't think he's like taken serious by many serious people anymore. And he was, to your point, he was at one point. Like he had good insight. The game passed him up.
Right. And so he was great. It's sort of like Peter Lynch. If you read the Peter Lynch's One Up Wall Street book, it doesn't necessarily hold as well, but like he was the GOAT in his day.
His synthesis, his fundamentals, but his player takes are just, I don't know. He just doesn't have it anymore.
Right. And so like Kramer back in the day, when he wrote a book called Get Rich Carefully. It's one of the first financial books I ever read, and it changed my life and how I approach things. And one of the things he said is the Roth IRA is one of the greatest gifts that the government ever gave to, the American people. And I have 5 times as much in my Roth IRA as I do in my traditional. But the traditional, I didn't even have a traditional. So I have my rollover from old 401k. I have my Roth, which is what I would contribute to on an annual basis. And now I have my traditional. If I'm in a position, like if we had like a major windfall, if we had a sponsor that was like large enough that I'm like, sweet, set aside tax bill, pay all my taxes or whatever, then I would go Roth.
This 250 soul, we can be bought. We do have our title sponsorship open. We have actually taken it off the table on a few deals just because we want to be as agnostic as possible there. But if anyone really wants to, max out Stephen Mine's both Roth IRA and traditional IRAs this year, we are accepting conversations. No promises, but we can be bought.
But no, for reals, if there are people who think that they'd be good sponsors or good fits for the show, let us know. We would love to have those on if you know people. Good people know people, and we love y'all. But yeah, man, or if they have things like
seriously, every time we've said this, every time we've talked about sponsors on the show, or you probably remember there's a few times I changed the title, like your brand here. I kid you not, 100% of the times we've talked about, hey, we're open for sponsors on the show. We've gotten multiple people, usually regular listeners. They either reach out to us, ask some questions, or they send to someone else. So I can't tell you how much that means to us. Like, I don't know if we've ever properly thanked all the individuals that have connected us or responded to something like that when we asked for it on the show. We don't do it often, but it does. It's how Steve and I make a living. So greatly appreciated all the support, whether you're an actual sponsor or you're someone that thinks we might connect well with someone. It means the world to us.
Yeah, it does mean a lot to us. So it's like, I was going to say, if I got a big sponsorship deal or a normal sort of job or whatever it is that's taking taxes out, sure. Like I would I would be going Roth, but I go traditional specifically now so that Dawn and I can take that money off our joint filing taxes, and will, do that as long as I need to. It's like, again, if I had a windfall right now, if I inherited a bunch of money or whatever it is, or something happened, then had a, meme coin runner that got me, a large payout, I'd be going Roth, because Roth is a great way to, because the thing about Roth, for people who don't know the difference, just to give this, and then we will, we'll talk a little bit more about, different, the market or whatever. It's if you put money into a traditional IRA, when you take it out, you pay taxes on your income, meaning you take out $150,000, it pays out as if you got $150,000 of income. When you take money on your Roth, like let's say you have $100,000 in your Roth when you retire, that is $100,000 that you have, period. Meaning you put money in now, and theoretically, rule of 72, let's say you just put it in, doubles every 7 to 10 years, and you put it in a traditional, fund, and you don't do Bitcoin or anything, you just put in a fund. You put in $100,000 now. In 20 years and you retire, that's $300,000 or it's $400,000. It's like that $400,000 you just take out, you just have it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to pay tax on it. It is just your money. So that to me is the reasoning why I tend to, decide on my vehicles that way. It's just another vehicle right now as I figure out what being a independent entrepreneur is all about, because if you work at a 9-to-5 day job, and they take taxes out of your paycheck already, you might even get a tax return. If you get money, like let's say that you get $30,000, or let's make it really clean. Let's say you get $10,000, just, and it's, as a contractor, you just have to assume that's about $6,000, not 10. You have to assume there's taxes. You have to assume that there's money taken out of that. You have to basically put like $4,000 to $5,000 aside just for taxes at the end of the year. And you pay these pre-taxes, if you've ever done that before, if nobody's ever done it, where on a quarterly basis, I just write a check to the government, and then that comes off my tax at the end of the year too. So it's a little bit, it's just a different ball game that I'm still getting used to, but the traditional IRA helps it so my cap gains don't get clocked too hard.
You can not to get into your personal stuff too much, but you can also backdoor Roth too.
Yeah, but it's not, and there are ways to do that and convert.
You just basically put it in a traditional and then immediately convert it to a Roth.
Yeah, but there's also, there are tax implications to that as well. So there are, you can backdoor the Roth, and that's usually for people who
it's over 160.
Over 160, I think it is 150, 160. So the other thing about Roths, and then we'll get out of
the I don't know what I'm sure it's higher for married individuals.
Yeah, it's married individuals. I think it's joint filing like 250K or something like that. But the idea is like, if you were at a high income household and you make 150K on your own, or more than 250K as a household, whatever the number is, if you file that way, there are ways to like put in a traditional, pay the taxes and flip it over to a Roth and get it in there. So you're basically paying the taxes on it up front and getting it in there. But yeah, for me, it's just a pure, like Von Frutton said, it's a pure, like right now.
Like find another crypto show in a raging bull. Like the bull just kicks off, raging crypto show. And we spend the cold open the first 23 minutes of the show talking about traditional and Roth IRAs.
Well, the funny part about it is like the reason this started, for people who don't know, because I don't even think I got there, because we kind of got down the rabbit hole. The reason
I would love, like, it's the only show you'll find on X today where crypto people are talking about traditional and Roth IRAs. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, and we got here because like what happened was yesterday. I've been thinking about this for a while, but again, because I'm trying to figure out ways to put money in the right places, I took money that I had in Bitcoin. I sold that money that was in Bitcoin, paid a small cap gain on that. And then I'm putting that into my IRA, meaning that, that money will then grow in my IRA. But instead of having to put my own money into my IRA, I'm just taking Bitcoin and putting it into the Bitcoin ETF. I sold at 112 and it shot up to 118 in a straight line. Like, it was just like clockwork. It's like a 4 or 5%, whatever the number is, you jump immediately. So RIP me on that one. So I had some caps, some tax loss harvesting I had done to make it work that way. But yeah, that was an RIP me moment. But it's a small thing, but it's like it's like just a classic move. But Bitcoin soaring, ETH cooking, some shorts getting liquidated. I see people arguing against it.
Conversation yesterday.
So you think do you really think this is it? ETH's having a moment?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not gonna get over my skis, but I do believe nothing changed with the thesis other than they screwed up the last update and they just made it way too favorable for L2s financially for value accrual back to the ETH underlying mainnet token. I'm not smart enough to explain it. It's just this is how ETH scales. Banks are going to launch stable coins. They're going to launch L2s. It's all happening on ETH. Like everything is getting built on ETH. You know what hit me, Steve? Like, I'm not even joking. Like this guy just looks at it. Like, it's my regular coffee shop. Everyone knows that. Like, I never talk about crypto unless someone asks me. And then when someone asks me, I'm like, eyes light up and like, oh shit. Cause he's like, what can you tell me about ETH? I'm like,
sweet. How did you find this person?
He's just in the coffee shop. And he
looked at you and said, "Tell me about ETH."
Well, I mean, like he like we've like been friendly. Like he knows I host a podcast. I don't know if he's ever listened in or not. And he like knows I'm in the space. I just don't talk about it. Like I'm not like gonna be that guy. And he just asked, and I was like I started explaining the thesis of like compared to Bitcoin, like is this going to be the strategic reserve? But start talking about the world supercomputer and layer 2s and stable coins and everything that's getting built on ETH. And as the world comes on chain, a lot of that is going to happen on either ETH mainnet or an Ethereum layer 2. And I genuinely believe it's the most bullish fundamentals in all of crypto. I'm not saying it's like going to flip Bitcoin. It's like Bitcoin's always going to be daddy, but for all the reasons, like it's just the thesis holds. And now I think what we were lacking is those who aren't here. No, like this guy, because I even said, I go, now I'm not an ETH maxi. It is my biggest allocation. I'm an ETH bull. So take it for a grain of salt. He's like, no, it's my biggest allocation too. I don't understand it. I don't know what it is. And I should have asked, like, why is it your biggest allocation then? I'm assuming because unit bias. It's less expensive than Bitcoin. I believe that this guy and most people who aren't deep in crypto, they know it's another cryptocurrency. They have no idea the activity that takes place on ETH. They have no idea about DeFi. They have no idea about layer 2s. And what other cryptocurrency can tout that, Steve? Like what other cryptocurrency has even remotely close to the not just volume, I'm not talking just meme coins, but I'm saying wide range of activity of builders and that is attracting large institutions, banks, not just building on it, not just launching L2s on it, but now this strategic reserves. Like it was Bitcoin first. Now you got Tom Lee and others that are starting their ETH reserves. By the way, one of them just bought 6,500 ETH directly from the Ethereum Foundation. ETH Foundation sold the top yesterday, as they always do. That's going to play out. And I think like our company's still going to buy Bitcoin for their balance sheet and their reserves. Yeah, of course. But a lot of them are going to be like, okay, we miss Bitcoin. What's next? 90% of them are going to look at ETH, right? It's such an obvious.
That's been my thesis for a long time, right? It's like, why wouldn't, again, like maybe I'm crazy, like similar to you kind of deal. It's like, why wouldn't they look at ETH next as an option? And like, I like here, you know, what's also so funny is like, I'm a big, like obviously we're big Modern Market fans, although, maybe a topic for another day. Somebody in Modern Market basically like gave a critique on my ability to host, not on Modern Market. Someone in the commentary was like, see, Steve K. Bark, this is how you, not like a, one of the hosts here. Let me see if I could find it. It was it was like a one where I was basically like, look, man, I've been told I'm one of the better speakers at like Ivy League university type things. I'm okay. I'm doing just fine. I'm going to like be okay. But like they took it upon themselves to, I'm trying to find it. They tagged me in the chat. Trying to find it. It was kind of funny. He goes, here, I'll even share it. Cause look, I mean, dude put it out on X. So I'll share it. This is a total digression. Then we'll get back to like ETH and everything. goes, Steve K. Bark, listen how nobody is yelling. This is preferred to listeners. And I was like, what? And he goes, they speak so calmly. It's nice, not jarring or too aggressive / bright. Sounds professional in some way. And I kind of said, I talk how I talk. It served me well so far. Might not be your preference, but I've hosted large events with major athletes. I've spoken at Ivy League universities, and I've hosted a show from 0 to hundreds of thousands of listeners. Not planning to change who I am. Cheers. And they just responded, cheers. But like, imagine like listening to a show and being like, hey, listen to this, moron. This is how you're supposed to host a show. And it's like, yeah, like I've literally spoke for a living.
It's funny. I'm not gonna name names, and it's not even the regulars, but there's a guest or a guest co-host, I guess, maybe weekly appearances now. The exact opposite of what they were giving you a hard time about. And I've multiple times over the past month, I've had a conscious thought, like I catch myself, I completely tune out because it's a very monotone, boring speaker and they lose me. Like, and I love the show. I'm not going to name names. I don't like talking about people. Like, they're fine. It's just not my style. And it's not entertaining tone. Like, it's just, voice inflection is important. You don't have to get as excited as Steve and I do, but
different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not like, my feelings aren't hurt. I'm like,
just a little bit.
There are things like, you know, that you do pretty well. And like you should know things you do well in life. It's important. I was a television news reporter as my first job out of school. I have been asked to like host events for major like people who I consider people who I respect and like, and, you know, I think know a thing or two about a thing or two, appreciate the style. So I'm okay with it. I'm not like, my feelings aren't hurt. I'm not like upset. I'm plenty fine with it. But it is funny when you see stuff like that and you're like, oh, damn, like person apparently feels strongly about it. But on the ETH thesis, I guess I would say, you know, I've liked the ETH thesis for a long time. I was going to say on Modern Market, though, it's funny because this is why our industry is hilarious and kind of bizarre. It's like, in the same breath, you have people saying, like, the ETH fundamentals don't make sense. Like, the value accrual's not there. They barely get any money from layer twos, all these things. And then you flip it around and say, but we should buy Fartcoin because, you know, hot air rises. Or we should buy Pengu because, you know, brand coins are coming. And it's just such a funny juxtaposition of like the thing that everybody is building on is like the, you know, nah, this is not it. But then it's like, but this meme, like, I kind of like Fartcoin at $1 billion. And it's like, that is always funny to me. Like, again, I know it's not totally the same thing and they're different things, but like, it is funny to me when we have those conversations about like, you know, but Fartcoin to the moon, but like ETH, the world supercomputer, we're going to hit a hard pass on that one. So anyway, I digress, but that's sort of my, that's sort of my rant for the morning. But yeah, man, I like ETH. I like ETH. I like ETH in general. I'm a fan of ETH. I'm a fan of the use cases of it. ETH was what probably changed my life about crypto more than most things because I saw ETH as like this.
It got me to understand that it's not just speculation. It's not
just money.
It's not just money. And yeah, same thing. It got me like, this is the next layer of the internet. This is the future. Like, and that I feel more convicted in that today than I did when I realized this in 2021.
Yeah, that's where my head's at. It's like, this is it, man. It's like how the world scales is going to be on ETH. And so I'm a fan of ETH personally. And I, you know, it's just, I'll continue to be a bag holder. I mean, I wouldn't say it's I probably should be more all in on crypto for someone who works in crypto, but my conservative nature, it's like, even like I said, like my sort of like positions in my, traditional like financial vehicles are a combination of stocks and like sort of crypto. And I probably should be a little more in crypto just because I am in crypto. But yeah, I mean, I like ETH in general. It's a thing that I am continuing to, and I'm debating if I want to allocate a little bit to ETH NFT or ETFs, right? Like, do I want to like allocate more? I was going to say ETH NFTs. I'm allocated plenty to ETH NFTs. Do I want to allocate more to ETH ETFs? So I don't know. Just a decision that I'm waffling around with. But Again, on the I had the I sold thing. There's a few things. So we have all-time high. So if people missed it, Bitcoin hit 118K, ETH hit 3K. So ETH, bumping around again. Go ahead.
I'm going to mention it real quick and then move on, just because we talked about on the show. I bought an NFT. It's kind of like a PSA. IMF, International Meme Fund. It was Clouded's project, or is Clouded's project. He's one of the co-founders. It was like a year ago or whatever. They minted an NFT for like 0.1. And the claim went live a couple months ago. I missed it until just recently. Went and claimed. I shouldn't have, but I sold some of my initial claim just to basically pull back my initials. And it has been on an absolute ripper. Like right now, it's your 0.1 ETH is, you could claim I think about $5,000.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So if you bought that NFT, make sure you go claim it's imf.bz. Because I'm near certain other people bought that with me. I know I wasn't the only one. I shared it in the war room a couple times, but I completely forgot about it for the most part. Didn't realize that
What's the site?
imf.bz or app.imf.bz. And it's just been on an absolute face melt. Like yesterday, it was like I have 1,500 IMF left after I sold. I can't remember how much the allocation was or how much I claimed. I don't even want to look because it may be more than 5K, but it's up to like $2 a token now. So my 1,500 is $3,100 off of a 0.1 ETH mint. And like I said, had I not sold my, a portion at the jump, it'd probably be close to 5K.
Yeah, I don't even know where I would claim if I was on here, which I don't even know if I am, but it probably would just say I have something, right?
You know what? Let me look, because I actually don't see the claim. There might be it actually might be a different site to do the claim. Let me find it. I'll track it down and pin it up top.
Yeah, I don't know if I did or didn't, or if I have anything there, but I am definitely would be nice to have. That would be good money to find in the couch cushions if it were there for a not a bad day at the office. If you're
and I mean, and it's not just like I'm like a true story. I don't even know. Like I was playing around a little bit this morning. It's basically a DeFi protocol to pull collateral out of your memes, like to take a loan out on memes, and the utilization, the TVL, like it's actually taking off. And so I'm not selling what I have left. I don't know if I should. I need to play around and figure out, like, am I lending? There's a lot you can do, but I don't fully understand it, and I need to spend a little time. Maybe I'll see if we can get Clouded on here to give us a proper update.
Would love that. Solomon, I like ETH too. I like Bitcoin better. Hot take? No, not a hot take. I think that's a fair take. I mean, if that's like, what's so funny about how Bitcoin's allocated? I feel like the reason there's so few people allocated to Bitcoin right now, in many ways, is that in the crypto side, Bitcoin is seen as too boring. And on the traditional side, Bitcoin is seen as too risky. Like Bitcoin existed in this weird spot where before the ETF in particular, if you talk to people about Bitcoin, they thought it was this risky, crazy asset you never want to buy that was too volatile, even though it's performed incredibly well over the past 10 years, better than any other major asset. And then if you talk on the crypto side, you would tell people just buy Bitcoin. Like if you could go back in time and tell yourself just buy Bitcoin, like if you did the math on like when Bitcoin was 16K, the NFTs you could have sold to just roll into Bitcoin, be a millionaire.
Let's not go there today. We're having a good day, Steve.
Because
by the way, way more than that. I'm not even going to go there, but I'm done. Like if I sell the Pico top and just rolled into Bitcoin, the background is my compound in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I mean, even like, again, I'm not going to say it, but like, I think there was at one point when you could have sold like, I think when it was at 16K, you could have sold like a Bored Ape, for example, for like 5 Bitcoin or something like that. It's like,
brother, I could have sold a Jenkins yacht for 5 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's those mistakes which you live with. And I've been thinking about, like, I'm probably going to do it over this weekend because I've been thinking about it a while. I've been thinking about like the psychology of round tripping a little bit and the psychology of not selling a little bit. Because it's not.
Honestly, I don't know how some people do it. Like I round tripped I mean, don't get me wrong. I did very well. I put a few $100s in crypto and ran up a 7-figure port, which is not 7 anymore. I'm like poor man's Gainsey, and paid off all my debt, pulled a lot of money out, dream vacation, all that stuff. The literally millions and millions of dollars left on the table. Like, I feel like I'm really, like, I have a warped brain. Like, I'm numb to swings, and I also believe I will, I've been fortunate. I've done this before, not in crypto, but I've had other massive wins followed by L's, followed by massive wins. And so, like, I just try to stay calm, cool, and collected and not rise up and down. But for people who haven't been through that before, like, if it's like, I think there's a difference between someone who's experienced significant wealth and then lost wealth, and then they round trip back in crypto, versus someone who it's the first time ever experiencing any sort of like windfall or material wealth or paper gains and then round tripping that. Like, I don't blame people who leave. Like, like, I don't know how to say this, not sound like an arrogant. I consider myself pretty mentally strong and don't get fazed by much. I've been through a lot of shit, and it's made me a better person. People that are inexperienced and going through shit, like, I'd love to see someone do this. Like, that's a good article. You want to do the psychological effect of round tripping a bag, because, man, like, some people who just aren't strong mentally, like, it be hard.
It's not even, I think there's also like a mindset about it and how you go about it. But like, it's very interesting because Steve, another Steve in the chat, a dope dude, actually. I hodl too much with 99% of my crypto trades, losing significant amounts of wealth, made a bit more quick to sell, though. Guess I'm learning slowly. Part of it is learning, and people say like, hey, you learn in your cycles. But like, the problem is it's not simply about greed, right? Because people just want to oversimplify and be like, oh, you're greedy. You thought it was going to go higher. That's true. But I think that greed goes hand in hand with delusion a little bit. Like, I thought about this. Like, there's this delusion. Like, when we had $400,000 Bored Apes, which are now $25,000, $30,000 Bored Apes.
Yeah, if you're not delusional, you're not going to be there in the first place. You sell at 10K. Like, it comes, there's both sides of it, right?
Yeah.
Very, 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 very hard to time tops. But I think that's why having a plan. And I didn't have a plan going to last cycle. I've never been here before. I had no idea. I had no idea what to expect. I've got a plan this time.
Well, and you talk about the delusion. Well, two things. I mean, I think delusion is part of it. Because, I was going to say, like, when we had, like, Bored Apes were at 400,000 and people are holding them or holding multiple, you're thinking they're going to 1 million, right? And you have your sell point of, what's crazy is my sell point was $500,000 and it was short of it, just short of it. Like, if it hit that point, I would be in a very different place. But yeah, it's like weird because, like, and it's not because I don't love my ape, by the way. It was like a, hey, thanks for all the, help you've got. I'm in a good spot. I got a mutant or whatever that I would have bought for a really expensive mutant. But like, part of it's delusion. I think part of it's the money doesn't feel real. Like, when you're sitting there staring at a screen and someone's offering you 6 figures, you're not thinking of it as 6 figures. Even if you've never had that sort of money before, you're sitting there being like, I don't know, I paid $250 for this. I paid $1,000 for it. So like, you talk yourself into the fact that you're like, it could go down to $1,000 and I'm just basically getting what I paid for it without thinking of that unrealized gain as a thing. But it's funny you said about like the delusion part, and it goes both ways. There was another, like, Chris Williamson, I get served a lot of his stuff, thing where he was talking to this band person, this person who like is a famous artist. I don't remember who it was. This person who was in a band, some famous musician. So Chris Williamson is talking to some famous musician, and he says, it's funny, like, do you have this thing where you obsess when you're in the studio and you're writing a song and you do the same take 50 times for the littlest thing in a track? And the guy's like, yes, I'm so obsessive about it. And he's like, yeah, and guess what? Like, you probably think, like, in your other parts of your life, there's other parts of your life where, like, it bothers you, where you're like, oh my God, I'm too obsessed about a relationship, or I'm too obsessed about, like, oh, this person didn't send that emoji or whatever. And he's like, guess what? If you're obsessive in that band about that piece of music, you don't get to choose when you turn it off. It's just who you are. And the guy in the band was like, yeah, I've gone to therapy. I've taken medication for it. And like, end of the day, like, if you're obsessive or you have certain delusions, like, you don't get to turn that off in all parts of life. So it's kind of both ends of the spectrum, where it's like the thing that got you to buy JPEGs that made no sense for $250 are probably the same reason you didn't sell them at $400,000. And then you learn and you try to figure it out. And even recently, I took some profits recently. It sucked. Like, I didn't like doing it. I took some losses recently. It sucked. I didn't like doing it. But it's like making the decision that's best for you is what matters. So I don't know. It's just so where's this IMF thing?
This is the NFT. So search IMF in your wallet, and if you have this NFT, I still haven't found the claim site, but I will get it. But this NFT. You bought it for 0.1. If you have it, it's worth about $5,000 now to go claim.
That's wild. I need to find the site if I have it. Let's see. Oh, OpenSea's being slow on the search, so I don't know. It's being buggy. Probably getting some new. No, it says no items found. So alas, unless the one was sent to my cold wallet or something, I am SOL and don't have the free money. I'm still gonna try. I'm gonna go find the site and try. Just because you never know, like when there's some other allocation or something you miss, but. It does not look like I bought into, which is surprising because I love Clouded. I think he's great. Smart guy, nuanced perspective, but it looks like in neither of my wallets do I have an IMF NFT. But I don't know. It's just
I got it. It's on the party site, party.app. I will I'll just pin it up top.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just I do think that there is a thing about round tripping, that there's probably like some thoughts there, because I think people just like to like tell people like, you're a moron, take profits, or oh man, I missed a major opportunity, by the way, to Bonfront and Nailed in the War Room. I missed a great opportunity to compare Kramer to Wizards era Jordan.
This is like, to give you an idea, when I say it's melting faces, this post, when I saw it June 18th, so 3 weeks ago, it was up 10x since this person's original post to say, pay attention. I missed the original post. 3 weeks ago, it was 3 cents. That's when I got asked for the claim site and got it, sold some. So it's probably worth quite a bit more than 5K now. I am going to go back and do the math just to make myself feel pain. It was 3 cents. It's now $2 in 3 weeks.
That would have been a heck of a buy.
I should have not found the claim site for another 3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, that would be a but I think I'm out on the claim site, but I may go to whatever that is and check just because I want to make sense. But you just never know. But yeah, man, it's like, it's a crazy time. I think like when we're seeing like ETH and Bitcoin melting faces, I don't know, like this is sort of the play where like you talked about, like, hey, like our number that we hit, we both kind of hit, not technical analysis. People were like, man, if this hits 120, it feels like that's a number where it jumps up. Is Bitcoin ever going to be below 100K again? Do you think?
I don't think so.
You think we've seen the last of 100K?
Maybe. I mean, I don't. It depends on how high we go this cycle. I don't think we go below 100K in the short term. If we top out, like, say, I don't know, sub 150, then I could see it going back below 100K during the next bear. But I think 250 is more likely than 150 for the top of this cycle.
It's interesting, man.
If we're up to 250, then no, I don't think 100K will ever be touched again.
Yeah, I mean, let's do this. While we're here, let's just do the daily market update. Let's just get it up because we have a bunch of stuff to talk about there, and we'll see the prices as they sit right now.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeChain, no hype, just gains. Moving on ApeChain, we bringing the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. ApeChain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, figures now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop for one time.
It is time for the daily market update, powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap.
Yes, sir. And we'll get back to some ApeChain conversation in a bit too. Other parts of the big news yesterday. Excited to chat about that in a bit. But first, let's start with our favorite NFTs. Looks like an OpenSea farm is on again as DX Terminal, 47,000 sales, 0.004. Apes down 0.48%, 10.15. Actually pretty impressive with the face melt on ETH. Not uncommon to see NFTs pull back a little bit. Although CryptoPunks, I think, held strong. Autoglyphs at 91 ETH after a few sales below, I think 75 maybe. Pudgy's down 1% to 9.
But Apes, real quick, Apes up on a USD basis, right? So it's like down in ETH, but like I think apes were like 23 to 25K like not too long ago, and now they're 30K. So like you said, like they dipped a little, but not proportionally to ETH. So keep cooking. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, kind of across the board for the NFT leaders. Pudgies, same thing. Little Pudgies, Mutants, 1.59, but like you said, up in USD. Larva Labs, that's a USC farm. Big people sale 60 ETH on, I believe it was Politics or Bullshit, maybe. Azuki's seen a little bounce. So the question the other day of Azuki versus Mutants versus Capybara, it looks like Azuki's the winner in the short term. If we head down to stock market, also green. Everything was green yesterday. Pretty wild to see my my little widget on my phone. It just looked bright green. Memes, the greenest of the day. Pepe up 14%, leading the way. Doge up 10%, almost back to that 20 cents mark. Sheep up 8%. Trump up 9%, broke $10 again. Bonk up 8%. SPX 6900 up 7% on the day. Even runes were green yesterday, Steve. Big winners in the rune streets. And as far as majors go, as we mentioned, Bitcoin, new all-time high, up 6%. ETH, Minify is not doing us a solid here. They could at least left it at over 3K during the daily market update. But nevertheless, 2987 will take it. Feels like not long ago there was a magnet at 2500. So finally broke out of that. Still like 64% off all-time highs, but I digress. XRP up 7% on the day. Solana up 4%. Doge, as we said, up 10%. And Cardano up 15%. And I think I heard up like 85% on the year. Just nutty things happening. That's our daily market update, brought to you by ApeChain. ApeChain on top. And Steve, as I said yesterday, they actually are bringing culture on chain with their most recent collaboration announcement.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. So I had that on my. I do want to get in the second half of the show, definitely. So stick around for the second half of the show. I'm gonna pin to the top my poll. I do have a poll about Fartcoin versus Pengu, and I think there's an interesting discussion that Von Frunten actually sparked on there. I also realized I didn't put a space between my emojis, so I didn't even get the benefit of the $ tickers on that. So RIP me. But so ApeFest gets announced in Vegas. They have a tickets go on sale Monday. It's going to be a refundable deposit as usual. The first, I forget what number it is, like 1,500 or something, get a free ticket to ComplexCon, which is a $600.
$1,250.
First $1,250, I believe. Then there you go. As Cap, thank you for the correction there. Get a ticket to ComplexCon. I was planning to go to ApeFest anyway. Gordon announced there's going to be a poker tournament of some sort. I'm excited for that. Like, so he's
not only a poker tournament, but teased like it would be cool to have an annual event. I wholeheartedly agree. Like, I think the first one makes sense to do around this Vegas Ape Fest, but in the future, I mean, sure, they could just always do the Ape Fest one, but I think that would also be like. I believe Ape Fest, I believe the in real life events are very, very powerful. I also think it's, for as powerful as they are, it's almost as powerful in the wrong way when holders, community members miss one, right? Like, I think you were like starting to like feel some things when you missed Hong Kong. I'm not like missing the club, but I wasn't able to attend Lisbon last year, and it feels like it's been forever since I've got together. I mean, we were just in Paris not that long ago, right? But I think they could do Ape Fest and then do the annual poker tournament at the clubhouse at like the other half of the year, right? Like, so 6 months separating those two events. Not everyone's going to come play poker, but there would absolutely be hundreds of people I think would make that annual pilgrimage and create a fun event around it. And now you have multiple events a year, and I think it could be an incredible tournament because they could juice it up. They could get some sponsors, like, you know, do it rake free. Like, I just
give away a punk to the winner. They have a huge treasury
right?
of punks.
Like, there's a lot of things they could do to make it a really fun tournament. And I got really excited yesterday. I said it in the war room, like, I know ComplexCon's not for everyone. I'm probably aged out of most of the acts this year, but ComplexCon's a big deal. Like, go look at like who's headlined that in the past 10, 15 years, like legends, like like early, like they literally, like in some cases, launched their careers, and that's real utility, man. That's like, it's not the VIP. It's an 8 premier passer calling it, so you get to skip the line, which I even said yes. I think that's actually better for the brand than a VIP ticket. But yeah, to get let's call it a $400 ticket, $500 ticket. I don't know. It's like general admission, I think, is $300, VIP 600. So somewhere in between that, doing that even once a year, like, that's real value. Are somebody will buy a mutant just to get a free ComplexCon ticket? Maybe not this year, But it's so much easier to like people are like, well, what's the value of the club? What's the value of the lifetime membership? If it's a lifetime membership, it's really easy to do some math. Like, okay, if it was 600 when I first did the math, like, okay, that's like 7 years. You go to this annual event for 7 years, your price is paid for. Now you're a free roll in the rest of your life. I know not everyone, most people don't look at NFTs like a lifelong membership or a lifelong club, but when you do, it's a lot easier to start justifying the cost of it. If you start looking at it as a financial asset that you're looking to just flip, and you start looking like, okay, I'm going to join this country club, and here's what I get every year for the rest of my life, it's underpriced.
Yeah,
like, really, if they were to do $600 of value every year, $500 of value every year, nothing else, if there was no other utility, no other perks, no other benefits, you don't even get a network with people in the club, just access like that, it's underpriced. And I believe way more NFT brands and projects can do this sort of stuff. It doesn't have to be the same thing. It doesn't have to be passed to a festival. But I feel like, Steve, the space got away, the PFP NFTs got away from utility. They got away from value add. And I understand you need to be generating profits. You need to bring in revenue. But even like things like gated merch drops, and it's just like, it was so much of the, I think, anyways, I thought it was so much of the allure back in 21, 22, and then royalties went away. So most people thought, oh, we can't offer free utility anymore. We can only we'll sell you something. And that's still cool too, but give a discount, like provide some utility. And especially if you lean into sponsorships, this stuff is not hard. I mean, it takes time and work and planning, but Yuga's not the only one that has the ability to do this in terms of reach and influence and network. Like, I want to see more of this. And I think it really does push NFTs forward. Like, I think, like the example I use, like we're at ComplexCon and you see a group of, a few dozen apes rolling deep together, and they skip the entire line and go in. Don't you think every other person in that general admission line is going to be asking, like, what are they doing? Who are these people? How do they get to skip this long line? Assuming it's a long festival.
Well, it opens the conversation at the very least, right? I mean, I assume there would be like lines, people getting in, and people see the VIP stuff and be like, oh, it's VIP, and be like, yeah, I just got that for free. Like, that is utility. And I agree. And like, this is part of, like, to your point, what we're missing, like with NFTs in general, is like, the problem is we tied ourselves mentally to the fact that utility makes price go down, and price was the only thing we cared about. Instead of saying, this is a decentralized club, the first one that's really pushing utility. And, Von Front saying, I assume, the ApeChain is sponsored anyway to promote the chain, and getting members in is an added benefit. I assume they negotiate it. It's a smart ApeChain BAYC integration. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and
like,
this is how you do it. Like, it's going to be an ApeChain activation. ApeChain, I'm assuming he's paying for it, funding it. Still give your earliest supporters benefits and perks. Like, this is kind of what we all expected. We're not guaranteed. Maybe we shouldn't have any expectations, but reward your earliest supporters. This is one way to do it.
Six-figure airdrops isn't realistic utility forever, right?
Yeah.
Or 5-figure or even 4-figure.
No,
but
I don't think many people are still expecting magical internet money to appear in their wallets every few months. But that's not. I mean, I guess in theory you could maybe find a way to pull it off. This is sustainable and scalable for most of the remaining PFP collections that have any sort of treasury left.
Yeah.
And or clout, connections, etc.
It's just like, define your brand and who you are and who you want to be aligned with, and then give utility accordingly, and the right people will buy the club memberships. It's that simple. But to your point about ApeFest, I enjoy, to me, and it's funny, I met some people from Complex in New York at an ApeChain event, and didn't talk about it because now I think it's fair to have that conversation. And like, yeah, it's like, they get it, they see the future of on-chain, they see sort of the opportunity that exists in the market, and working with ApeChain, great. Like, that's what you want and you want them to thrive. And by the way, if ApeChain does well, it means there's more opportunity for BAYC. So it's all ties together, especially with the new foundation play.
And we have to give our favorite founder some love too.
Oh, Gordon.
He's the best, man. I miss him. I hope he's well. And I don't blame him for taking care of his health. He should be prioritizing that. But
yeah, he's excited about what's coming down. So we'll see what happens with BAYC. I'm excited for it. And it's, I'm an ape. I'm holding my ape. It's It's good. It's just last thing I'll say before we go to Joey, and we won't leave Joey on ice till he has to jump at this point. Is, to me, like, your point about Hong Kong, I was feeling some type of way. I couldn't get to Hong Kong. I did get to Lisbon. I think, like, from a club perspective, like, there needs to be more events, like, just as whether it's decentralized or centralized. I know they're talking about other side, but, scavenger hunts and new versions of the treasure hunt, puzzle events, poker events. Like, if there are more events that are organized and they figure out a way to do it, whether there's buy-ins or not, or whatever it may be, that feeling you get when you're around the club, even in other side trips with people, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It reminds you what you are and what you're doing. Like, Lisbon reinvigorated me the way that Hong Kong reinvigorated you. And it's like, it's once a year, like a twice a year thing would be great there. It's just a reason to do it. And
it gives people who couldn't make the one another opportunity, right? I think that's I think for whatever reason, like maybe not travel, or they have something going on, scheduling conflicts. I do think I think you could pull up not 2 Ape Fests, but 2 different events that still give people an excuse to get together.
And if they can get the sponsors, like one stateside, one not stateside.
Why we're doing PSAs on claims and airdrops. Drew, appreciate the shout out on this one, or appreciate the post. ERA from Caldera. There's claim live now. The pre-claim process, rather. I pinned it up top. If anyone wants to go check that, you probably should. I think anyone holding Yuga assets has something there for you.
Cool. Love Drew. Joey Vowels, go ahead and get in here.
Yeah, guys. So I've talked about this before, and I really do think that the idea of a lifetime membership is a broken model in this space. And I agree with you guys, these live events, poker, tournaments, Ape Fest, all this stuff are amazing utility for holders to get together, to go to concerts. I don't know what Bored Ape paid to be the main sponsor or top blockchain sponsor for ComplexCon, but I would imagine it wasn't cheap. And
hold up, I don't think
99%. Oh, go ahead, Cap.
I don't think Bored Ape paid anything. This is what you're missing. I don't think Bored Ape paid anything.
ApeChain, right? Yeah. Who's the ApeChain is the official sponsor, right?
Yep. And they've got a marketing budget, and they've got to do stuff like this. So this is a way where another division, a sister company, is doing something they would do anyway, and they're deciding to leverage that partnership, leverage that ad spend, and reward their holders with utility.
Yeah, I mean, but ApeChain had to pay. I'm assuming ApeChain had to pay for it. But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that most 99.99% of the projects out there right now didn't raise hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to put on all of these events. So if you look at like newer NFT projects that are minting out, that are trying to build, some type of business while also giving utility, they're lucky if they mint out for a couple $1 million. And so the idea of, hey, if you buy this JPEG once for $150, $200, $300, right? You're going to get lifetime utility out of it. To me, it's crazy because, and again, you use the example of like the country club. There isn't a single country club in the world that you pay an initial fee to join and then you're just in it forever.
Yes, there is. There's many of them, actually. I'll pull up the exact.
I mean, I don't know a single country club anywhere in South Florida, New York. Any of my friends that are country club members pay a single initiation fee, and then they don't ever have to pay an annual fee, or they don't have to spend money on food and beverage,
of course.
Like, I don't know any of them.
Of course. This is where people get it wrong. I'm not expecting free stuff for life. I'm not expecting they open the clubhouse and I get free drinks and food every day. It's the country club model. There's absolutely country clubs. You pay a one-time initiate. Now, most of them, do they have annual dues or monthly fees? Yes. But there's absolutely, I'll give you some specific examples. Country clubs, you pay a one-time initiation. That's it for life. And then you get access. That public people don't have access to. You still have to pay for your green fees. You still have to pay for your food. But someone off the street can't get in there. They can't get this. I think I'm taking crazy pills. I had kind of an argument with Lord the other day on this exact thing. It's like this.
I don't know if you can find. I would love for you to find a country club in the United States, like a high-end exclusive, any country club in the United States, where you only have to pay a fee once for the rest of your life.
Go look at I'm drawing a blank on it now. There's one in Scottsdale. It's a big one, big famous one, high exclusive club. You pay a one-time fee, you never pay memberships going.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up because even the highest end ones that I know of, we're talking like 6 figures plus to join, still make you pay every single year to be a member of that club. So again, but I mean, the point still remains though, not having the idea of this lifetime access, which in my opinion existed prior to, any of these NFT projects ever thinking about delivering any utility, right? It was literally just like an online social club. So there was nothing that needed to be delivered outside of, we're just hanging out in Discord for vibes and we're hanging out on X for vibes. I still think that there needs to be somebody at some point is going to come up with a model where it's $150, $250 for the initial, and I believe the smart contract exists because I think we've talked about this before on the show. And if there's somebody smarter out there like Drew, when it comes to like, smart contracts where you can actually revoke ownership of that NFT with certain parameters. So I still think there's a world where you can create a social club with utility, like access to a clubhouse or concerts or whatever, right? Without having to charge, $5,000 for the initial. Like I think Rolling Loud is a good example where you got lifetime access to all their concerts, but I believe those minted for like over an ETH. So you're spending thousands of dollars. But I really do think there's going to be someone who's going to do this where it's an annual fee to keep the discounts, to keep the access, so they have revenue to continue to deliver utility as a pure social club.
That's one model, but you don't have to do that. Like you can generate money other ways than charging an annual fee. Like most of these were sold as a lifetime membership. So you have your club. Now you want to do more stuff for your club. Yes, you have to sell stuff. You have to generate revenue. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. Look at REI. REI, you pay a one-time $30 membership. You're in for life. Now, does REI sell other stuff? Yeah, absolutely. But the lifetime membership is a one-time $30 fee. I'm an REI member for life. And I get perks. I think it's 10% off. Like, it's not huge, but it's this concept. Look, Tesla full self-driving. You can buy it one time. You get full self-driving for life. Ohio State alumni, Steve and I don't know. I think it's $1,500. I'm in it one time, and for the rest of my life, I have access to discounted tickets, or I get access to tickets like this. Now, does Ohio State sell other stuff? Absolutely. But the idea of a lifetime membership with a one-time fee, it's not novel to Web3. There's literally dozens of examples. This has worked throughout time, especially when you start getting older and you see things like AARP and that sort of stuff. But like alumni associations, there are country club examples like this. It's not that difficult. I don't understand why it's that difficult to get our heads around that you can sell other things without charging your members ongoing fees. Like, I'm not expecting the clubhouse to be a free roll. I expect them to sell drinks. I expect them to sell food. But you get a perk if you're holding. Like, it's like perk and utility doesn't mean free stuff for life.
I would agree with you. And maybe that's just the misconception in this space. I just do think it's difficult when we're talking about assets. The initial raise is the difference in the conversations, though, where some of these people, again, are raising fractions of what others did to be able to deliver this.
Build a business
without revenue.
Doesn't matter. Build a business. Build a revenue generating business, which all of them are going to have to do anyways if they want to be a going concern. Like a NFT PFP brand that doesn't ever bring in any revenue, they're not going to be around 10 years. They're going to close. It'll just be an art collection. It'll be a collectible on chain. Like if they want, whether they raise $100 million or they raise $1 million, they're still going to have to generate. They're going to have to build a real business, and the holders should get perks if they do that.
The part I do agree with you a lot on is the sponsorship thing. Like, I don't understand why there aren't more events paid for by sponsors. Maybe it's because the market research says that those sponsors don't get benefits because the people attending the events don't purchase or use their platforms or whatever. But that's one thing I've never going and hearing how much money some of these projects spend on events, and it's like you couldn't get some sponsorship money or all sponsorship money when you look at what goes on at all these other, concerts and events that go on around the world.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if D-Gods could do it and turn it, not just raise money to cover their costs, but actually turn it into a profit center, others can do it. Like, you just can't tell me it's not possible. Respectfully disagree if someone says you can't offer lifetime membership for a club. It happens.
I think the problem is I think this is like letter of the law versus spirit of the law thing, where it's like, I think you are correct. I think what Joey's saying that I actually would agree with is, what you agree with is, you can't just sell a one-time thing and give away free stuff forever.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Like, you need to figure out a model. I mean, but this is like always been the model. This is what's crazy to me is, like, again, the extreme example. If Taylor Swift had 100,000 NFTs that were giving you the right to buy tickets ahead of everybody else when they came to your city, that were giving you the right to buy exclusive merchandise, that were giving you the right to, like, spend thousands of dollars on concert.
This is a great example. I'm just going to use this every time. This is the greatest example. Yeah, like, Taylor Swift fans, they buy one NFT for $10,000, and the rest of their life they have priority access to all of our tickets. They don't get free stuff. They get to buy the tickets, but they get access others don't get.
Right.
He's got to fill out the collection.
And, like, there's still a rush.
Melina and I actually talked about that on a podcast like 2 years ago, because she complained about the Taylor Swift ticketing system, right? Like, and she was like, Taylor Swift's most loyal fans don't get to buy tickets because of the ticketing system, and how it's, all these big ticket companies have, like, they bought out the tickets. And she was like, why is there not a way for the most loyal fans to buy, use the blockchain to buy an NFT, and then you could track, like, to Steve's point, you track their loyalty as a fan because they downloaded, they bought her album, they subscribed to her, whatever, and then they get priority access to purchasing tickets at a regular price versus having to buy them secondary at $1,000 a ticket.
I will see your podcast with Melina and raise you a best-selling book that uses the Taylor Swift example a couple years ago. But I would but it's like true. It's like people like fail to realize that if you have a revenue generating business people love, like, again, they're not going to do it. They don't need to. They can sell things hand over fist. But it's like when Apple had people lining up around blocks, like, they could have said, like, when they didn't have, like, when you have scarce, especially in a thing that has a scarcity model of some sort, whether it's by force, where it's like you can only fit so many people into a concert, or whether it's by, choice. If you have a scarcity model, shoes, another good example. Like, people who like shoes the most end up getting gouged. Like, Be Epic says scalpers would buy the NFTs. Great. Like, here's the thing. You have to find the right distribution method. If you are Taylor Swift, I don't know how you put the genie back in the bottle, but you find people, like, this is where InfoFi is like a viable thing in the real world. Take InfoFi as an example. If Taylor Swift can figure out a way to find out who's purchased tickets, who's purchased merchandise, who tweets about her, who talks about her, who social media posts about her, and is able to kind of spin up a leaderboard, she could give them first right to buy. She could gate it based on their email that you can buy and make it doable. So I think, like, that's the thing. It's like, if you can find a way to identify your top fans, or if you're a new up-and-coming artist and you do this, like, you sell those, and then guess what? Like, scalpers would buy? Yeah. And guess what? If a scalper says it is worth $100,000 to me to get early access to Taylor Swift, like, again, examples, like, if there's let's say she sells 50,000 of them, because that's probably, like, I know she sells out stadiums with 100,000 of people, but, like, let's say 40,000 capacity for some, 20 to 40,000 capacity for arena. She sells 20, 40, whatever it is. If it gives you the right to buy, like, a Taylor Swift, a Taylor Swift guitar pick used in a concert, like, that you could buy for thousands of dollars, like, you'll buy that if you get the first early access to it. And then you can, so if scalpers buy them, great, they will. But, like,
here's the 10 examples I used the other day that are real world examples, non-crypto, non-Web3, where you pay a one-time fee and you get benefits and perks for life. From REI to the New Yorker to Tesla Full Self Driving to national parks to Passport America, several RV clubs, actually, professional organizations like AARP, American Airlines, AirPass, mini cruise lines, and some of these aren't even purchased. Just like once you hit their top tier, you're locked into those perks for life. Obviously, the famous Olive Garden lifetime pasta pass and Brilliant.org. Like that's just the first 10. There's hundreds of examples like this, and I don't know why we have to overcomplicate it in Web3. I think it was because the magic internet money, and that's not sustainable. Free stuff forever, not sustainable. You can't throw a banger ApeFest 2 party and give free drinks and food to everyone forever. But you could probably break even with sponsorships. I just like this concept of access and discounts is just, it's so straightforward. What I'm not trying to be an asshole to Joey or Laura. I really don't understand why this is so difficult to think businesses could do, as because they've been doing it for decades.
Again, it's to your point. It's just that it's because people are so married to the financial aspect of things that they are so married to the financial aspects of things that they think it's like a business can start, not have a sustainable business model, not sell or do anything. And again, if you want to have a club that's completely sort of separate from like the thing that you do, like Good Vibes Club has a revenue generating business. Good Vibes Club is, able to provide utility. And if they choose to spend the money there, if they want to, sell to their members, they can do lots of things. But like, I think we're just addicted to free in this space a little bit. And it's a problem, man. Like, it's like, yeah, like you're not going to sell a PFP brand that the utility is you're in a PFP brand and give away stuff for free forever. But you can sell something if it's like, hey, ApeChain is partnering with, like, the example is like right in front of us right now. ApeChain is partnering with Complex Media in some way. ApeChain is giving free tickets because they are making money on their end and doing a deal. They are then working with Complex to do whatever they're doing. And they're like, you know what? Like, let's throw this into the club. Like, that's the model. They have a revenue generating business on ApeChain, and then they flip that over to the club and use it for people who are holding their NFTs. It's like Kaido Genesis NFTs. Like, Kaido makes money selling their leaderboard spots. The utility they give the Kaido Genesis holders is they sometimes get airdrops. Like, the model exists and is being used. It's just we're so we're so warped in the way that we think about it, myself included, by the way, because I've had this thought too. It's like we're so warped about the fact that we're like, you know what? Like, we need lifetime membership for this PFP because it's like, it's a different, it doesn't work that way. So I think that like the idea that we're seeing it like laid out in front of us, to your point, Cap, like we use the Taylor Swift example, you use the country clubs examples. The ApeChain example is the example. Like, it's like ApeChain's a business. It works. Bored Ape Yacht Club is the NFT. People hold it. People holding the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT got to ComplexCon. They have to pay to themselves to go to Vegas. If you're in Vegas locally, congrats, whatever. But like, that's the idea, is like a membership that gives you the things you want. And if you don't want them, you sell it. Like, it's simple as that. So, it's like, I was talking to someone the other day who was like, I've had a membership to Soho House for years. When I was like 22 years old and up and coming, it was great for me. And I was able to like get meetings with people and whatever. It's like, I don't want anymore. Pretty cool if I could sell that instead of having to like, just stop paying my dues and I don't go. Like, kind of that simple. Joey, get back in here.
So do you think, because all of the stuff Cap named, like AARP, some of these other ones, do you think that part of the struggle in this space is number one, that it's a global audience that you're having to appeal to, and number two, the infrastructure for something like that on that large of a scale is difficult. So like, for example, with a lifetime membership to what's the roadside assistance one?
AAA.
Yeah, AAA, right? Like AAA has the infrastructure, right, all over America, where if they partnerships with tow companies and whatever, so they can offer you, right, like access to their benefits all over the country, right? Where we're talking about like how Bored Ape wants to open up a clubhouse in Miami, which obviously is ideal, but like when you're appealing to this international, global, like, and how do you do that in this space when you don't have that infrastructure?
What do you mean? Like, you're saying, like, how do you
Well,
start
like,
the community?
so like
Just
if you're
like they're doing
providing
is how you do it.
utility to your
Just like they're
to
doing
your
it.
holders,
Just like they're doing.
Good.
Exactly how they're doing it is how you can do it. Like, this is just one example, is host an annual event, let your holders get in for free, and have that's not your profit center of your business. Like, I think this is the big disconnect, is like, I see royalties mentioned. Do royalties help? Yeah, they'd certainly help, but it's there's many other ways to do this. Like, build businesses, build revenue generating businesses that hopefully are profitable. And when you do that, bring your supporters along with you. Like, Google doesn't
So what comes
just,
first, Cap?
like, Google doesn't just have ad revenue. Google has hundreds of profit centers. Same with Facebook, same with Apple, same with fill in the blank. Like, they don't just make one product and stop. They build businesses, and sometimes they provide loyalty perks and incentives to their loyal customers. This is the next generation of that. This is a way to better identify who your real diehard fans are, who your supporters are. You can see how long they've been fans. Like, there's so much that this technology unlocks. I think we're really overcomplicating it when we say, oh, this, you can't give away free shit forever. No one's asking for free shit. Is it challenging to do something on a global scale? Absolutely. It is. It's hard. It doesn't have to be for everyone, but there's enough. Like, I hear you. It's just,
I mean, if Joey's asking specifically, how do you do it? Like, I don't know, like, you're
Well, no, I'm not saying how do you do it. I'm saying, do you think that that's part of the struggle, is the fact that you're appealing to a global group of members, and being able to deliver value globally is very difficult?
Yes, I agree. I think it is difficult. Like, I think it is very difficult. Like, I think the advantage of a global club that people need to play into is the fact that you can connect people globally, and I have a couch to crash on pretty much anywhere in the world. And how do you make that and unlock that intrinsic value? I agree. I would not want to build a global membership club simply because I am not knowledgeable about other cultures. I am not a well-traveled person. I have been all over the United States, pretty much everywhere in the United States you could name. I have been to Europe twice, Lisbon and France, both for NFT events. I've never been to Asia. I have never been to most places in Europe. I've never been to Africa. I've never been to Australia. Like, I'm not like if you name off the 7 continents, I've never been to South America. I've been to 2. So I think, like, for me personally, when I say that, it's like, I wouldn't want to build a global club, and I think that's struggle. I think somebody who is well-traveled could see. So, like, I think there is a world where somebody who is very well-traveled could look at all different cultures, find a way to connect them, and build a really great global club. So I agree that is a struggle with it. But, like, yeah, it's like starting from scratch. It's like, I don't know, like, Joey's a workout guy, run a bunch of, competitive races, does CrossFit, the whole 9 yards, super into health and fitness. A global health and fitness club, or I should say, from my perspective, a United States health and fitness club, it makes sense. Like, do deals before you sell your NFTs with creatine gummy companies and Whoop and all these, health brands, and be like, I want to offer discounts on your things, and I will bring you high net worth individuals. You sell out the membership for a certain amount of money to give you your seed, starting. You throw workout con every year, and it's like you could do like a CrossFit Games, but instead of having jerk Dave Castro, who doesn't listen to his safety team, which, by the way, side note, Joey, like, I know you mentioned, like, really sad situation this morning. We were talking about the person who passed away over the summer in the CrossFit Games last year, or passed away last year in the CrossFit Games on the swim event. I actually have a friend who used to go to my gym who was on the safety committee, who was like with him, who's like, we recommended not doing anything like this, and they did it anyway. So, like, you could run a global competition. So it's like, to start from scratch is hard, but it's like, if you can do the biz dev up front and get the market opportunity for fitness to, again, Whoop and Oura Ring and, Nike and, Rogue and all these different gym related people, and you can offer discounts or free items, certain free items, and people can purchase a membership from you, and you have an ongoing, and you have sponsors locked in to do a fitness event every year, like a CrossFit Games or like a fitness con, like the Arnold World Classic type thing, but another, not just for bodybuilding, but for other things. Like you have people setting up booths. You could have a profit center where people show up, and everybody who holds your membership gets a free entry to that event. And then everybody else, like the other, like you get 5,000 people get a free entry, and everybody else gets other, but you program utility against it, and you create this club. You work with athletes on it. Like there is a way to build that and build it as a sustainable business and do the thing you love. It is hard. Just like starting a business is hard, as you know. But I think there's an existing model that can do that, but it's not based on free everything. It's based on you get a free thing to my sponsored event every year, which is a profit center. You get discounts from certain brands that I do business with because they want high net worth individuals shopping with them. So like you do a business with Rogue, you get someone who has $300,000 worth of NFTs in their wallet buying from Rogue on a regular basis, and you're showing Rogue who their top fans are, and Rogue can offer them more specific deals. Like, great, they're going to spend more money with Rogue, and they previously weren't going to. Like, that's your selling point. So, like, yeah, like, it's a possible thing to do. It's just, it's hard. And I think people look at it as like, but that's a lifetime membership, or it could be like every year in Miami, Florida, you throw the most banger fitness event ever, and everybody shows up, and from all the fitness communities. So, like, fitness communities oftentimes like yell at each other like, oh my God, the person who does P90X is an idiot. The person who does CrossFit's an idiot. The powerlifter is an idiot. Like all these things. Oh, they're going to get hurt. Bring them all together under one roof. Run the event. Like you're a fitness guy. Like that's a business example that is very hard to execute. It sounds very easy on the back of the napkin. It's hard to execute because you have to do the work. But like it's doable. It's just, and it's a lifetime membership. And you could give them free entry to that event every single year. Or you want to know what's smarter that could turn into a lifetime membership? Do the VFriends model. As usual, Gary Vaynerchuk sees around the corner. He gave 3 years of econ guaranteed for free. To me, it was well worth it to purchase that NFT when I did it at Mint. No problem. Never wanted to sell. Never thought about selling. One of the NFTs that feels, at least on paper, like a forever NFT collectible just because of the work he does. It's like, you could say like, hey, for the first 5 years I run this fitness event, I'm locked in with Rogue for sponsorship for 5 years. You will get in for free. After that, we'll see what happens. But you can give them VIP gift bags. Like there are so many things you could do like that. So to me, like that's like a back of the napkin example of a lifetime membership potentially, or you start saying it's a lifetime membership, but this is what you get guaranteed out of it. Like, cause like VFriends is a lifetime membership. I'm in VFriends for life. I have the right to purchase things. Sometimes they're worth money. Sometimes I collect them. Got me into VCon for 3 years. I don't know if that's going to be forever. Maybe it will be. I just think that like, to
your point, that was the easiest thing, probably the easiest high dollar mint I've ever had, because I justified it. This conference will be worth the price of admission for 3 years. If I get nothing else,
it was worth it for 1 year.
Yeah. And now I say that before people get in like, oh, you could buy tickets for less expensive. I get that. When I made the decision to purchase the first one, it easily justified my decision. And even though it was a gainer for me, zero. If it would have went to zero, I'd have zero regrets.
Cap, to your point earlier, and to what Steve said too, like the example of GB's Good Vibes Club and their existing business, and how Steve just back of the napkin that business. Do you think that more of these NFT projects should have a viable business model before going to mint? And is that where we should be going versus previously where it was, let's mint out on this roadmap, and if we make enough money, we can build a viable business?
It's where it always should have been. It's like I would go further. I would say it's where it always should have been. Because to me, that's the missing piece. Like, and that's what I was trying to invest in. Like when I would buy things back in 2021 and 2022 is I would try to look at the founder. I would try to look at utility, and I would try to look at the team, right? Like, and who they are. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club was unique. It took off. It was crazy. And they figured it out as they went along, and they've set a lot of examples, and they've been really in front of the curve on a lot of things. But like, I remember when I bought Royal Society of Players, I bought it because Zeev has experience in business with Landmark Ventures. He was going to throw events with it, which he did, which were awesome. The cards were able to get you in. He was going to do some other casino mechanics with it that were supposed to be fun. And ultimately, like, didn't have the fit that we were hoping. And a lot of smart people were involved in that one and buying and holding. And I think of like the numbers I turned down for some of the cards I had there, right? But like I bought VFriends because Gary Garrett, I mean, you talk about it is how they should do it. I bought a VFriend NFT before I bought a Bored Ape. And I bought the VFriends NFT because Gary had a plan, which was, I'm going to give you a conference 3 years. It's going to be awesome. I don't care if I lose money on the conference. I want it to be awesome. He's given other utility since, for sure. But like, he made the point to say, I have a business here that is something that you can do. Like, I have an existing business and I have a utility that makes sense, that is tangible here. And I agree with you, Joey. It's like I said, like the gym example, like you're a workout guy. Like, imagine if your life was running a club full of like fellow fitness enthusiasts and there were 5,000 people to get in the club. And occasionally someone comes to you and says, I want access to your audience for my new product. You have the fitness community. You have all these fitness influencers who are like interested. You have all these people who are like super down on this thing. I want access to those people. I want to give you 500 free products. And so you could run a raffle or you could give it to certain people. I'm going to give you 5,000 free products. I want to give you 500 free products and a discount on another 4,500. Like, it would be a fun gig for you, right? It's like, that's the idea, but you would have to have the business model baked in. You'd want to have the conversations beforehand. Heck, like if there's a CrossFit affiliate that exists across the country that exists, you could be like, hey, it gets you you could drop in there for free anytime. You know, that's an opportunity. They're like, hey, drop in, scan your thing and, you know, whatever. So I think there's opportunities that exist that maybe we haven't even tapped yet on the idea of lifetime membership. And like, again, lifetime membership doesn't mean like everything's free. Like lifetime membership can mean you have a lifetime membership. We're going to continue to deliver against this thing, but you get the conference for free for 3 years and you're going to get the right to buy some other stuff. Like, it's like Gary, like there should be case studies on what he's doing with VFriends. What he's doing is the model, and traditional businesses could do the model and startup businesses could do the model. Conference fee for 3 years, right to buy merch, right to buy cards. I know he's an existing audience and it helps. Right to buy stickers, does collabs with Steph Curry. You know, and by the way, he also builds an individual utility for people whose NFTs were featured in the drop that he did with the Macy's or Toys R Us or whatever was dropped. The drop where he did like the vinyls. It was like he did that drop, and if you had like a wizard, you got one for free. If you had an astronaut like behind me, I believe you got one for free. So those are the things that I think like we sometimes miss is like we just got addicted to the only utility is the crypto-based utility that is airdrops and money. And that just doesn't, like, that's not realistic. So it is a real thing and it is doable. And I think that's I think Joey, actually, it's in a funny way, Joey, I think we're saying the same thing, which is it's not viable to say you just get free stuff forever from a lifetime membership. It is viable to say you get certain perks. Some stuff's free, some stuff's paid, some stuff's limited, some stuff's opportunity. And so I don't know. Would you agree with that as a lifetime membership, Joey? Reframing how you think about lifetime membership.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the initial introduction of that lifetime membership is, hey, this lifetime membership is not an all access pass to free things, right? It's a lifetime membership to get, discounts on apparel, discounts on access, discounts on tickets, and all those things. And people understand from there that that's what it is. I totally wholeheartedly agree, because there are a lot of utility and benefits you can give people when you're not feeling the pressure of, man, I have to deliver free stuff to people all the time and free utility. The other thing I think too is important.
I think that's the biggest issue. I think that is the biggest issue. You keep saying it. Many other people keep saying it. Every time we talk about this lifetime utility, everyone goes back to free. No one, like, maybe people are expecting free. That's probably not sustainable. That's very, very difficult. Utility, perks, and access does not equal free. And every time we have this conversation, everyone goes back to free. You can't do free stuff. Agreed. Like, stop. If you're an NFT founder, stop thinking you got to do everything for free. But also, if you're going to sell stuff to your base, give them a discount at minimum. Give them free shipping. Give them something that someone who's not holding your asset doesn't get. It's so simple. It worked in 21, 22, and then we lost royalties and everyone went away from that model. And I can't comprehend why.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't, I mean, again, you look at Disney as a perfect example. Like, again, we talk about why do we need, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. People pay every single year $750 to $1,200 to get an annual pass to Disney. Granted, that's annual, it's not lifetime, but that annual pass only gets you in the door. And then you still got to pay. Yes, you, depending on the pass level, you get discounts on food and merch and whatever. And sometimes you get specials on hotels. Okay, but Disney doesn't make money on you going to the park. People think that like, oh my God, they must make so much money because you pay $100 a day to go to the park. They don't. I've had friends that have worked at Disney for over 20 years. Where they make their money is when you buy their pretzel for $10, right? When you buy their bubble wand for your kid for $30, right? So to them, they don't care about the fact that like you're only paying $750 to go to their park maybe 30 times a year. They're banking on you staying at their hotel, eating at their restaurants, and whatever. So it's a perfect example of where you're still spending money even though you bought this pass. Could you go to Disney for free? Yeah, you could pack your lunch. You could buy your kids' bubble wands on Amazon and pretend like you bought it there. Yeah, of course. But what parent really does that? No, you go and you spend money.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's like, you know, like I mean, it's the model of getting you in the door anywhere. I mean, anytime someone goes to like I went to an Ohio State game, paid for the tickets on secondary market, so the team wasn't making any money on it. Which again, another problem that NFT solves. But like I went to the Ohio State game, State versus Tennessee with my daughter. Guess what? My daughter wanted a Buckeye necklace. We hadn't bought one previously. We didn't see him outside the stadium because we were kind of like moving quickly. We got there game day. Daughter got a Buckeye necklace at the stadium. She wanted an official one. We wanted to get some food. Guess what? We stopped and we got some food. Ohio State made the money off us because the margins were on our merchandise, our things we purchased and took home. You know, when I was, you know, it's just so anywhere you go, Disney, it's like they're crushing you on those Dole Whips, but that's how they make money. And I agree. Like, you know, it's, you know, you talk about the annual membership. It's like there are other ways to make money on things. And you know, you make it work for you. So yeah, I think that there's, and by the way, like gated semi-public private models, these all exist too. Like, it's like the other thing is like people keep trying to reinvent the wheel. Like, again, not a lifetime membership, but an example of like a paid thing. I pay for a Delta Reserve credit card because I fly a lot. Like, I may be flying less next year. I'll probably get rid of it if that's the case. But like, I get to use the lounge for free. I make my money back on that annual pay just on the lounge with how much I fly. Because I have to connect a lot because I don't fly out of a major airport. So it's like every time I go there, it's at least $20 worth of food, plus drinks, plus whatever when I fly. Okay. And obviously they make money on me flying on the plane. But like, I make my money back on that card just by getting access to the lounge. Guess what? People with a Delta ticket can go pay to get in the lounge. Like, they pay to get in. I get it for free because I have a membership. Like, these membership examples truly exist across the board. And I think there's so many ways to do that, like from a lifetime membership perspective. And that's just like one model of the blockchain. But I think people sometimes miss that, to your point, like someone stays at a Disney hotel, resort, or whatever. It's like they go to the Bibbidi Bop Boutique. They pay, you know, $100 to get their daughter a haircut or their makeup done or whatever. It's and Princess dress
or $350 by the time they pick their dress, they get their makeup. That's cheap.
It's crazy. It's, and not in a bad way. Like, it's crazy because like it's a great model. So yeah, I think that there is so many ways that we look at this the wrong way. And like, I think we're starting to have a reckoning, to be 100% honest with you, that people are realizing, like, we saw the Pistons and the Cavs are doing this, the Pistons and the Cavs are doing this like NFT based loyalty, and they're doing it in a very realistic way. And they're, obviously it went well enough with the Cavs that the Pistons were excited to be involved with it. So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm with you. Go ahead.
Does the existing business need to be ancillary to the NFT like, so in Good Vibes Club, right, they have Toast, right, which is not ancillary, complementary to basically what they're doing here. So in that example, it works. But if you do have an established business right? That is your revenue generator. Does it need to be complementary to what you're doing in the space, or is it okay that it's like,
Either way,
no,
it
like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It can be. Like we're really overcomplicating this. There's multiple ways to do this. Just like REI membership is vastly different from Tesla full self-driving. I do feel like I'm taking crazy pills. We did have this conversation pretty deep the other day. I think we're running in circles, Steve. I don't know what else to say on this. Like there's no right or wrong way. It's just, I'm just going to TLDR it. If you sold an NFT PFP collection with utility and part of it's a club, find ways to provide value in the form of utility to your holders. Doesn't have to be free stuff. Give them perks, give them access, give them utility. That's it. Like it's really freaking simple. And there's not one right answer. There's many ways to do this, whether it's another business, whether it's different profit centers within the same business, whether it's pure sponsorship plays, maybe royalties fully come back. Like there's not one right answer, but conceptually it works. It is sustainable. You just can't, you have to build a real business.
Business is hard. Business is hard. It's hard to build a business.
Most will fail. 90% of them are going to fail. Like it just happens. Not everyone's going to win, but I think there's probably some other things we should get to. We got 20 minutes left in the show. We got to get a more in and
I was going to say, like, let's pivot gears on more, get back on market stuff. But great conversation, Joey. Appreciate you, and definitely with you as far as like I think it gets the conversation.
When are we launching that fitness NFT, Steve?
I got what that conversation did? It got Joey so excited about my random off the top of the head fitness idea. Like he wants to, he's a gym guy, and all of a sudden he's like, damn, I think I could do that. And so Joey's all the way in on that, for sure. Let's do this. We'll do more, and then we'll talk a little bit of market.
The more you know, brought to you by ENS.
Not kidding, by the way. I literally think Joey is going to go and start writing down, can I do a, United States-based fitness membership that people would join for opportunity, and start thinking about what that looks like. But it's time for the more you know, brought to you by ENS. And look, we're talking about all-time highs. Bitcoin doesn't just break records, it turns them into launch pads. Every major milestone, all-time high in Bitcoin's history, has been followed by a massive move. In 2013, Bitcoin broke $1,000 for the first time and sparked the first real global attention on crypto. In 2017, it hit $10,000 and doubled in just 17 days on its way to $20,000. In 2020, it hit that $20,000 all-time high, then ran to $69,000 in under a year, fueled by institutional interest and macro tailwinds. And now Bitcoin just hit 118,000, a new milestone. And if history holds, a real move may still be ahead. Every cycle, the breakout past the previous high isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Price discovery, exponential growth, and headlines that make every skeptic have to take notice. Milestones matter, but with Bitcoin, they're often just the start. And that was the more you know, brought to you by ENS. Not just anchoring your name across Web3, but anchoring across the internet. It's your identity, simple, memorable, and unmistakable. Your security, interoperability, and ease of use. Go to ens.domain, secure your ENS domain today. And Cap, it's funny because we had this conversation about, we both said independently that like 120 is this number we're looking at. And I was like, why do we feel that way? And I think there's something to be said. Solomon with the more you know, still one of my favorite jingles, second only to the Firebrain jingle. I think there is something to the fact that Bitcoin, like we were saying, like, I feel like 120, it's going to take off. I think this feeling we're having was actually intrinsically tied in our DNA of the idea that when Bitcoin has hit these milestone numbers, obviously it's had pullbacks and other things, but like it rips afterwards. Like it tends to hit a certain number and then it rips up. And I don't know, like similar to what we said, I don't know if we'll ever see 100K Bitcoin again. I'm sure we will at some point in a bear pullback, potentially. Like if there's a major like catalyst and you don't know what's going to happen across the world. But man, I don't know. I think that there is, I think there's something to the idea that if it hits that 120 mark, 125, whatever that number is, we will see a run up. And I go back and forth of like, I should have sold everything and pushed into Bitcoin. I ask myself sometimes, am I getting too cute? You know, the sort of the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. I wonder sometimes. I'm sitting here allocated across the board and all sorts of stuff. It's like, should I just be pushing in Bitcoin? Like, should my entire IRA be in Bitcoin? Not financial advice. I'm not saying it should. I'm conservative. I have most things allocated in other, but it's like, should I just be allocating more there? Should my, entire portfolio in crypto be in Bitcoin? And I know that's not the case, and I'm active and I'm here every day and I have other reasons I do things. But sometimes I look down and I'm like, should I just be pushing harder in Bitcoin and saying, you know what, like, this is kind of like, has been like when Bitcoin was at 16K and we could have pushed all in on it, like, should I just be like pushing on Bitcoin?
But yeah, that was the move during the bear, not right now.
But are we overthinking it when we say that?
I mean, unless I think we get a alt season, whatever you want to call it. Like the reason you haven't went all in Bitcoin is because there's better short-term upside in these beta plays. And now we're in the season that starts happening. So I think now is not the time. Like, is Bitcoin still going to go up? Yeah. But whereas it's outpaced almost everything over the last throughout the bear and maybe the beginning of the bull, if it follows past cycles, now's the time where like BT dominance has topped and the others start to outperform. If we follow past cycles.
Yeah, it feels like it. I mean, it feels like there's opportunity, just like, hey, like Bitcoin in retrospect. The other thing is, like, I think sometimes we get biased to snapshots of moments in time where we do look at like, oh, I could have sold a Bored Ape for 5 Bitcoin or something. And you're like, oh my God, it was 16K. The part we miss and don't accurately say is like, but what was that is a snapshot in time. What was the price of Bitcoin when you bought a Bored Ape for $250,000, $1,000? And what was the run of Bitcoin when Bored Ape ran up to 500,000, 400,000, and we should have sold at least some of our allocations, right? So I think we sometimes look at that snapshot in time and say it was always easy to buy Bitcoin, which is true. And we should have been doing it the whole time. But I think people will say like, oh my God, you held your JPEGs and round trip. It's like, yeah, but they were an actual better play until they weren't. And if you're smart, and Seneca had a post the other day where he put like aggressively take profits. It's true. If you take profits on,
but part of aggressively taking profits and it is, don't just take them to stables. Take some to stables. Account for your tax burden. Account for any if you need in real life expenditure. But that's when you buy your Bitcoin. Hit some wins during the cycle. Take your profits, and then buy Bitcoin with those profits. At least some of those profits.
That's actually been my strategy in the past. It hasn't been, nearly enough, but in the past probably 6 months, anytime we've gotten a payout from a sponsor, anytime I've gotten a profit, anytime I've gotten anything, I'm pulling it into fiat for like real money that I'm going to use to pay my bills, I take a portion of that and I've put it into Bitcoin. It's been part of my strategy. And so, we'll continue to do that, I think, in general. Because go ahead.
Nope. Finish that. Okay.
I was gonna say, like, if Bitcoin's going to $1 million, if people really think that, and that's really what's going to happen, and we're going to see Bitcoin go to $1 million, and it's true, holding Bitcoin is going to be a good long-term bet. And it's again, I put up a tweet the other day. I looked at my IRA because I was allocating some money into Bitcoin there, and I looked at like Bitcoin since I bought it in January 2024, whenever it was up 155% or something. The S&P was up like 5%.
Yep.
Gold was up like 20%. The QQQ was up like 10% or less. It's like it's murdered other assets in that time frame. And I know they got the ETFs and the catalyst, but it's like, look at anything over the past 10 years, it's a play. So
forget 10 years. I got one more ETH bull post. We're going to look at the last 9 days. In the last 9 days, net inflows to ETH ETFs is over 380,000 ETH in 9 days. That's more than the net newly issued ETH since the merge. So in the last 9 days, the demand from ETFs alone has been greater than the ETH issued in the last 1,030 days.
It's a crazy stat.
That sums up my ETH bull thesis right there. Like, it's institutional money is coming. They're going to keep buying their Bitcoin. They're now very clearly buying ETH. And I do not see a world where there's not more institutions buying ETH a year from now than there is today.
It's kind of weird though. Like the one thing I'll say on this that I kind of like, it's not like a pushback, but it's a thought, is like I do think there is something to the fact that I don't mind spending my ETH, which is like
put it in a strategic reserve, lock it up so you can't spend it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like for some reason, I don't have is this just going to change? I don't have the mentality of like, I hold ETH forever. Like ETH, maybe it's because ETH actually has use and Bitcoin doesn't have as much use, right? Like, but like,
look at this chart. Look at this chart. This is insane. In April, so May, June, July, call it 3 months ago, a little over 3 months ago, there was 5 entities that had a ETH strategic reserve, totaling 200 million ETH. Fast forward 90 days, it's 47 entities and nearly 4 billion. Like, this chart may be up only. I'm not saying the ETH price is going to be up only. I think this chart probably goes up only for the foreseeable future. And you can see here, there's like treasuries, there's blockchains, there's governments, there's public companies, there's Web3 entities. The largest holders here, as far as their treasuries go, Ethereum Foundation, which by the way, they're now selling to, I think Sharp Gaming Link is who they just sold a bunch of ETH to. And so instead of selling, they're based, instead of market selling, they're going OTC to these other institutions. Yes, some are on Coinbase, your exchanges. What do you think? What do we think Robinhood's going to do when they launch their layer 2? Do we think they're likely to buy more ETH for their treasury or sell ETH after they invest and build a business on a layer 2 off Ethereum? It's like we've got a few governments on the list now. Do you think it's probable that the US government might be able to grow their ETH treasury to, I don't know, a little bigger than Gnosis DAO or Bit Digital or Golem Foundation? Like in one swoop, the US government could flip everyone on this list. And then you've got how many other governments in the world, right? Like state of Michigan ranks 22nd on, or I should say that state up north ranks 22nd on the ETH treasury list today. Like this list, I think this chart could outpace the Bitcoin strategic reserve chart. Maybe I'm wrong, but the thing I wasn't fully giving credit for was I do believe a lot of banks, a lot of, we're going to see stock markets on chain. Like when they build, whether it's their own layer 2 or they're just building on ETH, I think those companies are much more likely to stash ETH in their treasury than they are Bitcoin in their treasury, just because it's a bet on what they're building. It'd be like Amazon, instead of holding, having it'd be like Amazon going out and selling their own stock and buying Facebook. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I know it's different, but that's probably not the best analogy. This is just, I think this is maybe the biggest thing, the biggest bullish ETH sentiment that few people are talking about right now. And this growth is insane, man.
Yeah, it's like,
this is strategic for those listening. It's strategic ETH. I'm sorry. Yes, strategic ETH reserve.xyz.
It's crazy. It's crazy how, I hate saying this way, but it's crazy how early we still are on this, because
that's it. We're so early. Like this is like basically this concept that's now $4 billion. It started 90 days ago.
And also like it's that thing. And then it's like, even again, like I look at normal conversations. I was talking to somebody who actually, the only thing that has outpaced Bitcoin in the past since the Bitcoin ETF, you know what it is? I said it in the war room. Do you know what it is though?
I mean, my first, I didn't see it. So my first guess is NVIDIA.
Correct. Yeah. So I have a buddy who pushed hard on NVIDIA when, before that, and sitting there on like a ton of NVIDIA, and it like, whatever. And I think about it, like I was talking to him about it. I don't think he owns a single dollar of Bitcoin. I don't think anybody I went on vacation with last week owns a single dollar of Bitcoin. And it's funny because like we're still so early that few people own Bitcoin. So like ETH is really early, but like to your point about it, like that does kind of get, really just kind of like, gets it going, feel that one down in my loins. It's like when Bitcoin takes off and people actually who I talk to are saying, yeah, I own some Bitcoin now. ETH has to be the next thing that they look at, because I imagine like ETH almost is going to be like, because getting people over the hurdle of crypto is what Bitcoin is. Like people need to get over the hurdle of like, yes, I'm down to buy crypto. Challenge will be then taken and finished. And once people get over the hurdle of buying crypto and buying Bitcoin, think about it this way. Like, actually, here's a good example. I may tweet this today because I just had this thought, and I think this is actually this thought. Think about the first time you bought crypto. Maybe it was 2016 when that run came around. Maybe it was earlier in 2013. Maybe it was even earlier. Once you bought Bitcoin, likely as your first purchase, what did you do? You immediately went out and bought ETH, Litecoin, whatever was available at the time.
So funny. That was actually the three I bought. I bought ETH, Bitcoin, and Litecoin.
So think about it. When millions of people are looking at it and
their
mind
flips. The reason I bought those, Steve, is like, well, Bitcoin's too expensive. What might be next? ETH was naturally number 2, and Litecoin looked like, okay, this is one of the third that is even lower. I was all unit bias, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I just looked at, wow, $20,000 Bitcoin or $10,000, $12,000, whatever it was, $8,000 Bitcoin. That's expensive. $100 ETH. That's the play. And that was it. Like that was my analysis was, it's ranked number 2 and it's significantly less expensive than number 1. If number 1 even comes close to number 2, that's a good play. Like that was my research.
So think about that. If you did that, and I did that, and everybody here did that, what's to say that when people get their mind wrapped around having crypto as an allocation in their IRAs or in their stock portfolios, they buy Bitcoin, what's next? And again, I'm not saying ETH's going to the moon or it's definitely going to happen this way, but it just feels like our mentality being early was buy Bitcoin, then we went to ETH, then we went to Litecoin, then we went to whatever. I just have to think that other human beings are going to think the same way we did once they get their head wrapped around it. Like, is that a crazy thesis?
No, it just makes sense. I mean, I think it's about as straightforward as it gets. We're just early. And I know somebody think that's disagree with that. What do you mean we're early? Bitcoin's 120K. We are very early, relatively speaking. We're not as early as we might like to be, but right now it's those of us here in this very niche corner of the internet. It's largest wealth managers in the world, fund managers, and most people they think crypto is just a cryptocurrency. I don't need Bitcoin or ETH to buy anything. Like what would I use that for? It's too expensive. It can't go up from here. Once they start going down this path, and I think part of this ETH rise lately, the institutional demand, the media tour for ETH, I think it hits, man. I think maybe it's all just connected with the cycle and it has nothing to do with Vlad and Joe Lubin and Tom Lee kicking off their media tours. I think that's probably directly related to the ETF volume over the past 9 days. Like, what would another catalyst be, Steve? If you can think of a direct catalyst, if it's not for like that recent media tour that just kicked off.
I mean, I think that is it. I think I think,
excuse me, the media tour combined with Tom Lee pivoting from Bitcoin to ETH as a strategic reserve company. And then it's just like that wave, the ETH strategic reserve charts I was just showing, that wave combined with the media tour. I think that's it.
I think it's that
like 99% of the world has no idea this has happened, and they'll find out about it on LinkedIn in 2 months.
Yeah. We're like this close to people on Fast Money who talk to high net worth individuals who are buying and selling stocks saying, this is built on ETH, so I'm going in on ETH. Having people counter trade, being like someone arguing Bitcoin and someone arguing, like, we're getting there. We're getting there where the dumb arguments that we were having 5 years ago are going to happen on traditional media. And I know people, traditional or podcasts and other things. And like, we're very close to somebody explaining on Joe Rogan podcast what ETH is and why it works. And so, like, again, it's not meant to be like this big bulk sentiment on ETH. One thing I will say, though, I have been selling ETH NFTs more. I've been doing a lot less NFT buying. I find myself right now with this cycle, I'm in some new ones and figure that out. I find myself more and more, the only ETH NFTs I'm buying and keeping and whatever are ones where I want to be in the club, some art, everything else. It's like, I want to be in crypto, like, period. Like, I want to be in ETH. I want to be in Bitcoin, some alts that I like, Pengu, whatever it may be. That's kind of my stack. Like, I don't want to be in NFTs as much anymore, which is crazy for me to say as an NFT. I mean, my background tells a different story. But, like, I'm not as interested in being in NFTs.
I feel you. I'm very interested in being in NFTs. It's just I'm going, like, we've been talking consolidation. It's not just from a market standpoint, for personal standpoint, right? Like,
yes,
I can only be in so many clubs. I'm in way too many today, and so, like, I'm still going to stay in those. I may look for others in really unique spots. I think Good Vibes Club is a great example where you got a quality team, quality builders. They have a real business already built. And that's something I can see, okay, they can execute this model. And I may take a bet on that. And then the other thing I will continue to look for is allocation opportunities. IMF's a great example we were talking about earlier this morning. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. There's been a Fluffle, right? Like Mega ETH Fluffle. I think there's going to be potentially, due to the regulatory shift, I think that could be let's use the Good Vibes Toast example. Do that, but when they actually launch with, hey, this NFT, like they go the Mega ETH route. This NFT is going to lead to allocation. Think Agent's another example, right? I think that sort of stuff could really take off, and that I'm very interested in, because I think that is like a way to essentially lever up on your ETH. To your point, like, it's easier to spin than everything else, but we're at the point of the cycle. I need to get, part of it is I'm going to do it, pull the trigger to make sure I'm fully out of PTSD mode from the bear. Fully out of, I'm afraid to click the button because it could go down, right? Like I know where I actually am on the risk scale, and I need to stick to my plan and not be gun shy. And so part of that, I'm talking myself into making plays similar to you. I need to rebalance. There's some I've talked about. I just haven't made the move, haven't listed or whatever. But yeah, I still very much am into the thesis. It's just quality over quantity. I was saying in the abstract with Diablito, that's what I'm looking for. Quality over quantity. Clutch Market's a sponsor of ours, but I'm not, like, I'm very bullish on that platform. I'm holding the NFTs. Am I going to rock it as my PFP? No, it's nothing to do with NCR. It's just I have a digital brand identity today. But what I can do with the PFP is stake it and put some liquidity there and share in the revenue stream. Cool, awesome. That's an easy bet for me to make. Now, could it be a bad bet? Maybe, but the thesis is there. The underlying fundamentals are there, and I think that's what I'm looking for with NFTs over crypto, is if they're actually using NFTs and the technology to unlock things, to unlock technology, to do more with it than just a picture.
NFTs is
yes,
what you're looking at.
Exactly.
NFTs and not,
And one more, because this is maybe, I think, the best chart in crypto over the last month. Also started with an NFT, a free NFT mint that you could claim a token. And this is, I think, I don't know if we've seen this the entire cycle. The Binance Alpha. So what happened? This is the rec chart. They just hit all-time high, 169 million. It's up nearly 2x from the sell-off following the Binance Alpha. Binance Alpha is, if you're not familiar, people are holding BNB in that alpha program. It's basically like a free airdrop and claim. In every time we've seen perps on Binance launch for a meme coin, it's been like the death nail. Like, 100% of the time that I can remember, check me if I'm wrong. I know there's been in history, but recently for like this current time period, as soon as something gets listed on Binance without spot listings, if it's just perps, it's massive shorts, the claimers dump, and you see a red candle. With Reccoin, not only did it get bought up pretty quickly, it's rebounded to where now it's all-time highs shortly after. I mean, that was just back, actually, this is, I don't think it was back in February. I need to find the exact date, but there was absolutely a sell-off. Actually, it's probably here on the chart, is I think where it happened. So maybe the Tyler's date range is maybe slightly off here, not calling him out, but point being, the rec chart looks insanely strong, and that's another one that started with a free NFT, free token claim. The key, though, why this chart is performing, is it a good meme? Sure. That's not why it's performing like this. It's performing like this because OSF and team are building a real business that's generating real revenues, that's growing a marketing budget, that's, they're doing things, and that's just like, this is whether you're doing a CPG brand or otherwise, like this is a good example where you can continue to provide utility, benefits, perks to those holders without selling stuff to them. Or you can sell stuff. It just they can choose to buy it at a discount. They can choose to buy it and get loyalty rewards or something. So anyways, we're back, Steve.
We're all the way back. Good way to end the week. Definitely a good week to be back. I'm still getting back into the swing of things. Had a as we get through, but I think we'll be more locked in as we get things going next week. So go ahead.
The last thing I was just going to say, I meant to say this earlier, sorry. The at the clubhouse, it's a 10 a.m. show today. I just pinned the link up top if anyone wants to continue the conversation or dive deeper on all things Ape Fest, Complex Con, and more. I'll be heading right over there as soon as we wrap.
Yep.
But before we announce, you haven't done so, give us a like or a repost. Go subscribe to our newsletter that comes out this afternoon. Payne works tirelessly on that, and we really appreciate the love there. If you've already subscribed, even if you can't read the whole thing, click that thing open later. It does help us more than you know, and maybe even open it and then click through to one of the shows. We'd really appreciate it, and then give us that 5-star rating review on the podcast.
Very much would mean a lot to us. But look, I mean, that said, let's send everyone off into their day. I think good discussion this morning, good week, and we'll be kicking things moving forward. I'll be getting some ApeFest tickets on Monday and looking forward to that. But that said, let's set everybody off. Thanks to everybody who came through today. We will talk to everybody bright. Oh, go ahead, Cap. You're looking your thought on.
As Steve plays this out, I don't know. Lost my train of thought. I had one other call to action, but actually, I know what it was. This wasn't it, but I'll make it up. Yes, 200 subs by August. Thank you, Von Frunten. We're going to kick off a campaign. Working title, but the only thing coming to me right now is the first title I said is, can Payne beat a teenager? Right now, Von Frunten is schooling us on the YouTube subs, and I think collectively here we have the capability to do better than Von Frunten's son. So first steps first, we got to set a threshold, 200 subs by August. I think we can do it, and we actually got a prize once we get there. So 200 YouTube subscribers getting a prize from Von Frunten. Appreciate the love, buddy. Appreciate you driving our YouTube chat. And actually, he's not even a teenager; he's preteen, just turned 12. So Payne is vetoing the name. We got it. So here's the homework. Help us come up with a name for this bit. We can't call it "Can Payne beat a preteen?" That is not going to fly. So we do need a new name for this Payne versus Von Sutton. And then, how many parlays should we go tonight? Full MLB slate tonight. I've been running cold after my crazy hot start.
You ran cold on Billy 6-2 the other day. I ran Billy 6-2. I just bet all the Billy bets and I won a bunch.
The one day I was out to dinner and did not make it back. I had a meeting and dinner and did not make it back. I was waiting until close to tip, and I made it back. And as I was trying to fire, the game's locked, and I missed his red hot day. Otherwise, we definitely not be on a few day cold streak. But do we go 2-game, 3-game, 4-game, or do you want to get wild and crazy with a 5-gamer tonight? Let me know. The Caps Clutch Market Parlay today is pinned up top. Comment on under that how many we should fire tonight, and whatever the most common answer is, I'll do. We'll let the chat pick the winner for Monday morning, or how big the prize is going to be.
Yeah, and be epic. Yes, you do need to dive into Billy bets. I will. Look, I'll just basically share on as we go out, just because be epic sticks around the whole show and appreciates you. I'll say this: you basically need to go into Billy bets. There's this dashboard right here. As you can see, basically anything over the line, Billy's going to bet. It has an algorithm that does things. The higher it is, the more it believes in it. The closer it is to the game time, it moves along. So it's like, long ways you're looking at game time. Top ways you're looking at conviction. So the Marlins is the biggest conviction play, followed by San Diego, followed by Kansas City. And it's a pretty cool chart the way they do it. They make it pretty easy to read. You can look at it as lists as well. You go over, you can bet right on the site. You can load some money on there. You can bet on your favorite sites if you just want to use Billy's Alpha. Either way, it works. And give on Sutton at 909 subs. We got some work to do. Look, Payne says we're beating Von Sutton to 1,000 subs. I love that. That said, let's send everybody off into their day. Appreciate everyone who came through today. We will talk to everybody bright and early Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.